Today, we are talking all about grounding and how this is really going to impact your central nervous system, your healing abilities, and being able to reduce anxiety and depression. So let's get to it. Here in Canada right now, it's February, and a lot of us don't have the ability to get outside and get grounded, putting our feet on the earth. And the reason why that is so critical and crucial during the year that we can get outside is that the earth has an electromagnetic field. You have an electromagnetic field. And when we go on the earth, place our feet on the ground, or, if we're in the water, the lakes, the oceans, the rivers, what happens is that the electromagnetic field that is going on within the earth, when we put our bare feet in there, it helps our body to connect to Mother Earth, which heals and creates and has the ability to recharge your body and helps to heal on an energetic level and a frequency. So you have a frequency, and that frequency will change and alter depending on what you're going through in your life, what you're feeling, the way you're speaking to yourself. And so that is very, very critical because, as we know, lower frequencies such as shame, guilt, fear, anger, hatred, all of those lower ones are going to pull you down, create havoc within the body, create ailments, diseases. And the more higher your frequency gets, you get into, okay, anger is better than fear, because then anger, you're releasing it and allowing it to get out of your body. And then elevating your frequency even more to understanding, contentment, and then you're getting into love. And love is one of the highest frequencies. And so when we start to change our frequency from the lower vibrations to the higher vibrations, then that is where healing takes place. That is where our whole entire system changes and evolves. So as we know from science now, because back in the day, back in the early 2000s, when I used to speak on grounding, people thought that I was completely woo-woo. Thank God now in 2025, there's so much science that's backing up grounding on the healing benefits of that, and how the earth does have an electromagnetic field and a frequency that allows our body to enhance our own healing ability. And so right now, being in February, can't get outside because it is minus 35 outside. And so what are some other things that we can do? So one of the things, amongst a lot of things that I do, but one of the things that I love to do is I utilize essential oils. And now there are lots of different essential oils on the market. And so I just suggest to people, do your research, find a really good quality, third-party tested, organic, all-natural oil. The ones that I use are doTERRA. And again, I'm just telling you what I use, and you do your research to do what works best for you. If you have a great oil, awesome. I love these guys because they are third-party tested. A lot of the oils, I can do internally as well. These ones, the Douglas fir and stuff, no, but I use these topically, or I use these to diffuse. And so I would love to do the woodsy oils in order to allow myself to do the grounding. Because as we know, when we're outside and we're around the trees have an energy and vibration, a consciousness as well. And as well as all plants have a consciousness. And so the energy of these trees are such a high vibration and helping us to heal our body and to ground our body, so that when we're grounded, and which a lot of us are not grounded right now, and I'll explain that, is that we feel really discombobulated in this day and age. And the reason why is because we're on our screens a lot. So a lot of the blue light that we're looking at is really affecting our brain. A lot of the, social media that we're being consumed with is massively affecting our brain and our frequency. So like I've said in other videos, which really deems reiterating, is that all social media has an energy behind it. So whether or not that is truth that you're looking at, or things that could be potentially happening on the planet, there's an energy behind it. And a lot of the energy that's behind the social media and the things that we're looking at is fear, anger, hatred, separation. And what that's doing, even though you don't realize that on a conscious level, after you're done looking at it, you've literally massively lowered your frequency and your energy. And so a lot of us don't understand, well, why am I feeling so anxious all the time? Why am I feeling depressed? And it's because we're so consumed with the addiction of our phones, and a lot of us don't even know we're addicted, we just are, that it is leaving us depleted, and it is changing our frequency and what we are, who we are, and reprogramming us, again, not on an intentional basis. So to disconnect from social media can be a really huge benefit for you. And if you realize that if you can't go one day without being on it, then you can see the addiction that is already formed within your life. Now, if you need it for work, post, but attempt not to scroll. You can do that. And again, seeing how many days you can go without it, and then maybe start to journal so that you can see the impact that it has on your day-to-day life, and that how your mental health could be changing. And I can guarantee you that you will feel a lot better, more connected to yourself without it. So the woodsy oils really help to ground me. So what I'll do is during the day, or especially before I go to bed, I will put this oil on my body. But again, you don't have to put it on your body. You can diffuse it. And that alone will help to increase your frequency, because when we breathe things in, that affects us on a neurological level. So that affects how we feel, the way we think. It is also stored in our cells. So let's take a negative form of this. So if you're washing your floors with pine sol, that is a very big, deep negative thing, because pine sol is a neurotoxin. So it really affects the brain in a negative way, which promotes a lot of diseases within the brain. It actually affects the way we feel, bringing us down to depression, anxiety, just hateful thoughts, fearful thoughts. It also stores in the cells. And so when, toxins and different household items that we are spraying around our homes, such as, Glade candles or air fresheners or these toxic cleaning supplies, it's stored in our cells and eventually will cause havoc within our body, illnesses, disease. Because our skin is the biggest organ, it will start to affect our body in so many different ways, causing a ton of inflammation. And so again, I used to teach seminars on this back in the early 2000s when that was like a new novelty. Now, thankfully, people are starting to have the realization how damaging these cancer-causing chemicals that we've been spraying all around our house, like Febreze, and having these scented candles and thinking that, oh, it smells so lovely, I love it, but not realizing the toxic effects that it has on ourselves, our children, and our pets. The other thing is when we're using cleaning supplies and we're stepping on it, the bottoms of our feet have some of the biggest pores. And so within 30 seconds, that is going up into your bloodstream. And so be very aware of what you're spraying, and, changing it to organic cleaning supplies, which are so much, or you can even utilize oils, baking soda, vinegar to create your own cleaning supplies. That is such a healthier version for your house, so that you can, eliminate a lot of, the depression and anxiety starting there, and any of the toxic effects that we have from putting our feet on there or hands. So that's one thing. I wanted to make that point because health isn't just one thing, it's a whole system. And so by grounding ourselves and learning how to ground ourselves and taking care of ourselves by what we're putting onto our bodies and breathing into our bodies is massively affecting who we become and the way we live out our day-to-day life. The other thing is when we ground ourselves, we have a much better ability to have way better quality sleep. And as we know right now, with how society is, a lot of people have a really big problem with sleep. And that is to do with, too, what's going on in the subconscious mind. And so again, the blue lights, the lighting that is in our homes is affecting us. So the other thing is lavender. Lavender is a calming oil, which really helps to calm your nervous system. I find it's either one or the two with this for sleep, though, with people. My son and my nephew really reacted beautifully to lavender at helping to relax them and help them to sleep. Whereas my mom is the opposite. She finds it invigorating and helps her to feel energy. So you kind of have to play around with that for yourself. There's other really beautiful woodsy oils too that I love to use, such as cedarwood, balsam fir, vetiver, all of these ones which are great grounding oils. Now, if you find that you have been around a lot of people and you're like me, who is really energy sensitive, so you've been in big crowds, malls, maybe a concert, anything like that, and you come home and you just feel your energy is kind of bonkers, or you have a hard time sleeping, usually that's because we are empaths. We are energy sensitive people that take on a lot of energy from people, and that is affecting us. And so we have the negative effect of people that have been attached to us. And so one of the oils that is, I feel like, the gold standard of oils is frankincense. And again, this one is third-party tested. It is a completely one of the highest grade essential oils. This frankincense I will put on my hands to dispel and relax the energy. You can put it on the bottoms of your feet. You can put it on your skin. You can diffuse it. But I find for me, with the frankincense, I love to put it directly on my skin. And I have done other videos in helping with frankincense really aids with helping to reduce fine lines. So I have incorporated this within my skincare routine too, and I just absolutely love it. So you can try this too. I mean, Jesus was given frankincense, so we know that this is a very valuable oil to use. So I definitely love to do that too for helping me to ground myself when I've been around lots of people, and it's really helped me to gather up my own energy and feel more connected to myself. And I think that this is one of the biggest things that I want to help people with, is realizing that we are really disconnected from ourself. Our intuition, we're all born with a great sense of intuition, but as we've gotten older, humans are so programmable, you guys. We're so programmable. And so we're so used to, again, being disconnected from all the social media, TV, commercials, maybe schooling that we've been indoctrinated into, the government that is indoctrinated into certain things. And what happens is that we stop listening to our own internal guidance and what we know is right for us, and start looking outside of ourselves and searching for the answers outside of ourselves, when we have the intuition and the guidance to show us exactly what we need for our bodies to stay in alignment and stay in tuned. And so we know for sure that the blue light is affecting us. We know for sure that being in fluorescent lighting is affecting us. But I'm going to tell you another thing that most of you guys probably are not aware of, and that is the LED lights that you have in your home. That one spectrum of light is dulling our senses. It's dulling our nervous system. It's dulling our sense of cognition. And the powers that be know this. And so if you can get your hands on the old iridescent lights, that is what you want to put back into your home, because these LED lights, which now we've been, programmed to think are energy savers, is actually massively affecting our mental health. And so I know in Canada we can still get it. I actually think it's illegal, or not illegal, but it's banned in the States for you guys to get the old lighting, which is insane. It's insane, because it is severely harming your body and your nervous system and your ability to think clearly and cognitively. And it is dulling your mind so that you are more prone to anxiety and depression. So that is another thing that a lot of people don't realize. So in order for yourself to ground yourself, we have to go over and above nowadays. So it is using essential oils. It is massively limiting our screen time, especially if you can try to stop your screen time with 2 hours before bed. And what that means is that establishing whole new habits. And I know for a lot of you guys, that's really hard, because we've been so programmed that that's what we do before bed. That's what we do, is we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, on Facebook, or, on tablets or whatever. And so it is a whole reprogramming of your mind. It is absolutely possible. You can do it. And like, you just think, if you're older like me, you can go back to what we did when we were kids and teenagers before bed. Like there was a million things we read. We, were cleaning, we were relaxing in different methods. You can do yoga. You can, do some fun games with your kids. There's so many different things. The other thing is purchasing a grounding mat. And there's lots of different websites that you can look at for getting a grounding mat. And there's also grounding mattresses, there's like grounding blankets, there's all these things that will help to change the electromagnetic field of your body so that you're able to relax the nervous system. And then the other thing that is really important for me to let you guys know, which you're probably aware of, but I'm just going to just put a little bit of additional information out there, is that when we are in fear, which most people are, that is, again, it's programmed in society for a purpose. And the reason why they want you to fear is because when you fear, you are also disconnecting from yourself. It affects the frontal lobe. And it takes a long time for the central nervous system to get back to normal. And so when you're in fear for long periods of time, it really affects the frontal lobe so that you can't think critically, you can't react logically, and you can't think the way you normally would in a logical sense because you're in fear state. And what happens during that time? We separate from ourselves again. We're not going into ourselves, into that deep intuition of feeling and figuring out what is best for us. We are looking outside of ourselves. So we're looking outside. We're looking at the news. We're looking at social media. We're looking at, the powers that be. Give me answers. Tell me what to do, Big Pharma. And that's what they want, because then when you know what the old saying is, divide and conquer, or unite, we stand together. And so they want to separate us from ourselves so that it creates confusion, so that we are easily controlled. Because that's the easiest thing. So the power can continue providing more power, and being able to program your mind so you're not able to think critically and logically anymore. Or you can know this knowledge, because I think this is very vital, because a lot of people don't even realize how programmable humans are. Like how programmable you guys we are. It's just insane. And I can give lots of different examples of this. Like one tiny example, which is kind of silly, but it's the truth. And it is like, say, fashion, for example. I've seen like different fashion and stuff come out where people are like, oh my God, that's horrible. But then you see celebrities, you see all kinds of people wearing it, and then you see it on social media, and then you start to see your friends. And then all of a sudden, 6 to 8 months later, what happens? You start to wear it too. Now, did you change your mind and be like, oh, I love this now? You started to be reprogrammed because you saw it everywhere and wanted to be like those people, even though in your mind you thought, well, maybe this does look good on me. And you were easily programmed to that. It's the same as over the last, 4 or 5 years, what's gone on in the planet, where everybody was in fear. Fear separates. Fear separates. It separates you from who you are and able to critical think. And so grounding is very, very essential in order for you to be able to be your ultimate self, to be able to empower yourself, for you to absolutely stand in your power at all times. So that's why it's so important for you to do that. Now, once spring comes, getting into the elements is so critical. And so putting your feet in the earth, being beside water, being in the sunshine, all of that is absolutely important. And so I wanted to do this video for you guys so that you have some little nuggets of information that can really help you so that you can eliminate some of the anxiety and the fear and the depression that you felt. And if you want to go deeper down that road, you can watch some of my other videos on the critical critical importance of healthy nutrition, because what we are putting in our body, not just mentally from what we are seeing, but putting into your body as food, is what is creating the body that you have. And so that, my friends, that creating a healthy eating system, eating what is the best version of food for you, having really healthy supplements, and being aware of what you are consuming on a daily basis within your mind. Stop watching the news. That you are in control of your life, your bubble. You are in control. And that's what they also want you to believe, is that you are not in control of your life. You are in control of your life. And you're in control of your body. And you have the answers within you. It all resides within you. And I want you to be able to sleep better tonight by taking some of these nuggets and instilling even one or two of these suggestions. I love you guys. I'll talk to you on the next video.